Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again. Today, an update from Ukraine. The Ukrainians are invading Russia, not in Kursk, but in Belgorod. I made a video yesterday, I think, talking about that issue, and it seems like they keep pushing forward. That's the first topic. Another topic, the Americans are opening the door for the Russians to return to major international banking system. My point is this: it's not that the Americans are good and nice. They're doing a favor to the Russians. No, they need them. They're not doing it because they're nice. Put that out of your mind. They are profiting out of this. That's why they do it. It's in their interest as well. Next one, the Russians attacked Ukraine with about 86 drones, and it seems like an Iskander or two. Then Mr. Zelenskyy, the guy in charge supposedly of Ukraine, says that he sunk the Russian fleet in the Black Sea. Well, they were successful. NATO was successful, but it didn't sink it. All right, next one. The Russians are pushed back, supposedly in Pokrovsk. And I'm going to show you a map where exactly. And the last topic, there was if you remember, it was a drone attack, massive drone attack conducted by the Ukrainians on Engels 2 airbase, Russian airbase in Volgograd, by the Volga, Stalingrad. And they claim, now the Ukrainians claim, that during that attack, they destroyed, brace yourselves, 96 cruise missiles in that attack. First, I didn't know the Russians still have cruise missiles. I mean, on one hand you say, oh, the Russians don't have, they're depleted. On the other one, these guys had in one military base, airbase, 96. Why not 95? Why not 97? All right, we're going to discuss all these things in this video. Let's start with the first topic. This comes from the Telegraph. March 27, 2025, Ukraine is quietly invading Russia again. And they show us exactly where. I will show you on another map. As dawn broke, Paparapa in western Russian region of Belgorod, a growing thrum could be heard near the heavy fortified border with Ukraine. So, Ukrainian forces advance near border in Russia's Belgorod Oblast. Where is that located? Right here. Belgorod is exactly here. This is Kursk, right there. So they're talking about this area exactly here. Demidovka. This is the area where the Ukrainians try to advance over there. Not in Kursk, where they're being kicked out, and the Russians advance. And I think they show here somewhere a map, not that one. In here, right there. That's exactly where they show you the map. Again, this is Ukraine, this is Russia, Demidovka right here, the one I showed you. Supposedly, these guys are already in there. Look how much. And this is, as I said, Kursk, the border with the Kursk Oblast. Okay, this is Belgorod. And this is on the other map, as I said, on this, right here. Demidovka. So here, supposedly, the Ukrainians advance. All right, good for them. How much? We'll see. The Russians will smack them. Or this is just fake news in order to help the Americans have a higher ground on negotiating with the Russians. All right, next one. Politico, Bessent, however you want to call this guy's name, opens door to Russian return to major international banking system. It opens door not because, they're doing a favor. What is wrong with this guy's face? Oh, he's got glasses, my bad. I was like, oh my. All right. Treasury Secretary Scott on Wednesday did not rule out allowing Russian banks to rejoin the SWIFT international payments messaging system as negotiations continue on an end to the war of Ukraine. Yeah, because the Russians said we're going to have our own with the Chinese, the Indians and others. So we sidelined you, my boy. You did not remember when they did kicked the Russians out. I think in the first month of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, they kicked them out. Putin did not really think, they were prepared for everything. But maybe, you say, well, this is the worst case scenario. I don't think they will do that. They did. They kicked the Russians out of the SWIFT messaging system. And the Russians were like, okay, no problem. We're going to adapt. You made a file. Okay, this is the file we prepared like 7 years ago. Okay. They did it. And now they create something with the Chinese. And do you think they will stop? No. They will go parallel. Why? You're not going to put all your eggs in one basket. All right, let's go and read what the guy says. There would be a long discussion about many things in terms of the proper way to bring Russia back into the international. It's not the international system. It's your system, American system. It's not international. I don't think the guys in Zimbabwe are, they... Anyway, Bessent told Fox News anchor Martha McCollum. But I think this is premature to discuss. It's premature to discuss the terms of the deal before we can have a deal. I don't like to say this. Why? Because I'm an American. I did something to become an American. I was not just and became an American. I did something to become an American. And I don't like when my country is losing. And that's what's going on in Ukraine. All these negotiations, the deals they're making, they're not making the deals because they're nice and they don't like to see people dying. That's for baboons, for teenagers, for people that still live in the basement, those guys. No. They're not doing that. They have something to gain, both sides. And they're not doing it from a position of strength. And it sees. Yeah, it could be, it shows, not sees, it shows. All right, let's go to the Russian attack on Ukraine. Ukrainska Pravda. Russia attacks Ukraine with 86 drones overnight, 42 destroyed by air defenses, 26 failed to reach targets. So that's what? 40, 68, and this is 86. Where are the 20 or 18? Where are they? Paparapa, all right, and an Iskander-M ballistic missile was also launched. The enemy launched an Iskander-M ballistic missile from Voronezh Oblast. Where is Voronezh Oblast? Voronezh Oblast, set is C, right here. Is right here, right in the east part of Ukraine. No problemo. And 86 Shahed loitering munitions and various types of decoy drones from the directions of Milerovo, Kursk, Primorsko-Akhtarsk, and Chauda. Milerovo, Kursk, Primorsko-Akhtarsk. Okay, Milerovo is right here. Okay, Kursk, obviously here. I said no, Milerovo. I'm sorry, that's Milerovo is right here. I was going, and this is Milerovo. Okay, good job. But this is Milerovo right here. The other one is Shatanovo. So Kursk, Milerovo, and then Primorsko-Akhtarsk in here. And then you got the Cape Shauda on the Crimean Peninsula exactly here. All right, this is by Crimean Peninsula. So we got it. Crimean Peninsula, Cape Shauda right here, Primorsko-Akhtarsk here, Milerovo here, Kursk right there. And what they attacked, let's see. So 42 loiterers in Pop, a further 26 decoys disappeared. And where are the other ones? I'm making something 40, 60, 8. All right, whatever. The bombardment has affected Kharkiv, Sumy, Dnipropetrovsk, Chernihiv Oblast. Kharkiv, Sumy, Dnipropetrovsk. Right? Sumy, Kharkiv, Dnipropetrovsk, and I think it was Cherkasy. So this area affected by the attacks. Next one. Zelensky claims Ukraine controls situation in the Black Sea. Russian fleet sunk or hidden. Question, my boy. Where is your fleet? Where is your fleet? Oh, you ain't got one. All right. It's true. It's true that the Russian fleet moved, and I'm going to show you from where to where. Because of the attacks with the Magura 6 or whatever it is, drones, naval drones. So here it is. They were located in Sevastopol in here, and they moved right here. It's true. They moved from here. You don't see because of my melon. It's okay, man. I will figure things out here for you. All right, right here. Novorossiysk, from here to here. So now the Russian fleet is exactly in this little gulf, whatever, harbor, what do you want to call it, in here. Got that? It's true, it's true. You destroyed a few. Yeah, 1, 3, or 2 or 3 or something like this, from here to there. But to claim that, show me what you got. I like those people who criticize, hey Emil, or whomever. In this case, I'm going to use, hey Emil, you should not talk about that. Says who? Who are you? What did you do? Show me what did you do. Right? At least I'm right here yapping around. You see my face, you see my name, you know who I am, you know where I live. I mean, right here. What did you do? Where are you? Hiding behind a teddy bear and a little something over there. I don't know who you are, your fake name, and I don't see a face. I see a poop or something. And you tell me what to do. The same here. This guy says, you know what? We sank the fleet. What did you do? Where's your fleet? I'm listening intensely. All right, next one. New voice of Ukraine. Ukraine pushes back Russian forces in Kotlyne and Pokrovsk front. All right, where are those guys located? I will show you, no worries. We're gonna go cocaine. Just kidding with these baboons. It's right here. Pokrovsk front is in Donetsk Oblast. So this is Krasnoarmeysk right here, and Kotlyne is somewhere here. I will show you another map. This is Pokrovsk, but the Russians call it differently. And ram pam pam, Kotlyne, Pokrovsk. Got that? So this west, a little bit west, southwest, west of Pokrovsk, right there. So this is where the Ukrainians claim we push them back. On the other one is right here in this area. They push them back. Good for you. Next one. New voice of Ukraine. Ukraine airstrikes, right there, detonates ordnance depots of Russian angles to airbase. Boom, boom, boom. And they show us what they did over there, right? They're going to show us the aftermath. Ba-be-bee, boo-boo-boo-boo-boo-boo. And then we find out Russia loses 96 cruise missiles in Ukrainian attack on angles to airbase. So this is from the 27th. And the other article was on the 21st, when the attack occurred. They show us a few bop. And I'm going to show you on the map where there is, right? So, 96, my friends. Russia has lost 96 air-launched cruise missiles as a result of a strike by the Ukrainian Defense Forces on the Russian military airbase Angles 2 on 20th of March. Wow! And you want more evidence? Right here, another evidence from the Ukraine Forum. Russia loses 96 cruise missiles. Okay, where is this located? Well, no worries. We're going to go to Kotlyne, all right, because we know how to do it. I'm going to go to the Volga River, to Volgograd, right here, Volgograd. And this, all right, we're going to go somewhere higher than that, right, to find out where that angles is, right? Just a second, let me find it. I lost my way here. Yeah, so it's north of it, obviously. From Belgorod, you go north, and you're going to see angles right here. My bad. I was about, I don't know, 500 kilometers off. But nevertheless, here it is. This is the angles right here. This is the airfield. This is where these guys claim they destroyed what they destroyed. Where exactly, I can't tell you. Maybe here. This is the area where they show us the destruction, maybe, but they look like hangars here. Let me see the pictures again. That one right here. They have another one here. Come on, baby doll, show me the pictures. Show yourself, baby doll. Anyway, go to the other one that shows. So this is what they show us about, but this is not the one that I have on the map. Where the hell are you? Right here. Maybe from a different angle. And you see underground over there? Maybe this is the one. But nevertheless, this is the location where these guys claim they... Oh, this is the one. Why? Because you see this little round thing here? Like a ball, hanging ball of a, I don't know, a goat ball. And that's exactly right there, the goat ball hanging. Right there. So this is where they say they destroyed those things. Right here. Okay? Well, certainly they hit something. Now, How did I know it's 96? No idea. But I thought the Russians don't have missiles anymore. 96? Well, this is it, my friends. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. See you later.